This is a Fox News alert. The Senate preparing to vote on Judge Kavanaugh following the FBI's latest report.
But with a number of key senators still undecided, will Republicans ultimately have the votes?
All right, here to weigh in is the man of the hour. He's the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's been front and center through this entire process, Chuck Grassley. Senator, first off, today, we're expected to have the vote at about 11 o'clock. Do you know already how it's going to go?
Our leader said yesterday this is one of the few times in the United States Senate we won't know how it's going to go until everybody's cast their vote.
Senator, sorry, go ahead.
So we don't, as of now, I don't really know, and I don't know whether anybody else does.
So, Senator, are you talking about the final vote or the cloture vote? Because the cloture vote, will that likely pass? Because that's not the final vote, and then the one that's up for grabs is the big one.
I think you're going to find both votes about the same for everybody.
Senator, how do we not know how Jeff Flake and Susan Collins, Murkowski, and Manchin are going to vote? I know that I just don't understand why they're not saying, are they just waiting to the very end because they don't want to be swayed by their voters? But what more information do they need? We've already got the FBI report. Why don't we know how they're going to vote?
Because they're very personal, very quiet about it, and I think that they want... legitimately, I found myself in the same position. You want to make sure before you make a final decision, you want your constituents to know that you're very thoughtful about it, and what might come up new, they're going to wait till the last minute. I've been in that same position, so I'm not going to hold it against them for not announcing ahead of time.
Yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Murkowski wants to go back and see more. She didn't feel as though she had enough time, and so does Manchin, I think. When you look at this, the Democrats are lined up almost in unison outside Manchin and saying that this is a sham. Menendez uses an expletive saying it's all BS, despite the 1,000 pages and the multiple interviews. Are you surprised that the people that demanded 1 week for an evaluation last week are saying it's not enough this week?
Not only that, but during our last hearing, they said we ought to be having the FBI look at one person, only one person. They ended up looking at about 12 people, but they needed to look at this guy that his last name is Judge. They went way beyond that. They aren't satisfied. They're always moving the goalposts. But I think you got to go back to July the 10th, when Schumer said he's going to do anything under the sun to defeat this nomination. I've been trying to have a fair and thorough and open hearing, and I think we have done exactly that to get everything out on the table. And I've been dealing with a demolition derby on the part of the Democrats, where they've been out to do everything they can to defeat him. And one of the things you would think that they'd be concentrating on is he qualified to be on the court, 12 years on the D.C. Circuit Court. 307 decisions. What is there about this person that he shouldn't be on the Supreme Court? No, his qualifications have not been at issue. Everything that's been at issue is secondary things.
Senator, what do you think about these protesters that are attacking your colleagues in elevators? You have Orrin Hatch and Jeff Flake.
Yeah. I think that it's a reflection of the incivility of American society generally. And I think it's also evidence that people will go to any length when they're encouraged by people on Capitol Hill, like one congresswoman saying, confront them in the restaurants, go up, and another senator saying, get in their face. We as senators ought to be setting examples for civility, not encouraging incivility. You've heard about the resistance since November 2016. You're seeing the resistance headquarters right here on Capitol Hill, all among Democrats.
Would any of your Democratic colleagues admit that? Any privately, do you say, we've gone too far, the heat is up too high, this never happened to Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor in the hallways? What is it about this moment and the folks on the left that's allowing this to happen?
Well, don't forget, there are some people on the right that get overly ambitious and vicious as well. We here on Capitol Hill have to set an example for civility.
Right. Senator, Chairman, we understand that Leland Kaiser, the former friend of Dr. Ford, felt pressure to revisit her denial and of knowing about the alleged assault back in 10th grade. How do you feel about her saying that she feels pressured by Democrats to change her story?
There is evidence, I can't speak about it because it's in the FBI report, but there's evidence about other people that have been questioned that they were led into it as well. So this is another example of headquarters for the resistance being right here on Capitol Hill.
And you do believe that there's a problem with Dr. Ford's collaboration with the Democratic Party? What paperwork do you want to see that you haven't seen yet? What do you need to see in terms of the communication?
Polygraph, other things that she talked about to the Washington Post. If she can talk to the Washington Post about it, she ought to talk to us. But let's get back to the legitimacy of Ford coming forward. If she was assaulted, I believe she was assaulted. There's no corroboration that about her judgment that it was Judge Kavanaugh, but you got to take sexual assault accusations very seriously. We don't do that enough in American society, and this, whether Ford is right about Judge Kavanaugh or not, the fact that we had a forum before my committee bringing to the people's attention the major social problem we have about sexual assault, and we don't talk about it, that is at least one good accomplished by Dr. Ford coming forward, even though she wanted anonymity, and even though Senator Feinstein or other Democrats on the committee didn't protect her, her confidentiality.
Yeah, thank you for taking that seriously, Senator.
Senator Grassley.
Good luck today.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.